Hey everybody, you already know who it is. Chris Pesek here with your passenger seat real estate for today. Actually a really big question, and it slips my mind from time to time, but I had it again the other day from a client. How long does it actually take to buy a house? There's a lot of variables here, but I'm going to kind of take a couple of the normal timelines that I deal with. Obviously, if you are a cash buyer, this timeline is very condensed on the escrow side because you're not going to have to deal with a lender. But let's just say that you are like the majority of other transactions and you're getting a mortgage for your home. So how long does it take to buy a house? The first thing you've got to consider is, do you actually know what you're looking for? And a lot of people don't necessarily, and that's the biggest part of the first meeting that I have with clients, is trying to figure out exactly what they're looking for. And, you know, no matter how much time we spend trying to figure that out, it's still going to change a little bit during the course of the search. But once we get a good idea of what you're looking for and we focus our search on those parameters, you know, you may find what you need in a house in the first weekend or the first couple of weeks. But that search phase can make up a large portion of the time it takes to buy a house. I've got clients who've actually been looking for a very specific property now for about a year and a half. So obviously their timeline is elongated because of how specific they are in their search. The more specific, the longer it might be, or the less specific, you know, the shorter it might be. But anyway, you know, that's going to take up a certain amount of time. Now, once you've identified the house that you're looking for, you know, you've gone through the process of getting pre-approved with your lender and all of that stuff, the rest of it is real easy to kind of tell you how long it takes. A typical escrow period is around 30 days. In other words, from the time that your contract is accepted until you close is typically around 30 days. So your first 7 to 10 days is going to be an option period. You've got a financing period in there, and the most of that 30 days is going to be the lender doing their job to make sure that the house and you are okay to, you know, to enter into that contract for the mortgage. So, you know, if your search for a home takes a month and then your escrow period takes a month, you're looking at about 2 months time to find your house. If you throw into that equation that you need to sell a house, then that again changes the entire ball game. You know, it may take you 2 weeks to a month to get your house ready to list. And then once you get it on the market, you might start looking for your other house, but you're going to be potentially in a contingency situation where you have to get your current house sold until you know, before you can actually close on your second house. So if it takes you, call it 2 weeks to get your house ready to list, and then, you know, even if you can sell it in that first weekend, there's 30 days before you can close on your next house. So now that 30-day escrow period is lengthened out by about a week or two before you can actually close on your second house. So the soonest you would be able to close in a contingency situation would be about 45 to 50 days, although it does typically take longer, and I try to get clients to have a contingency plan in place just in case they can't close on their house for sale and then the one they're buying, you know, within that same couple of days. So they may need to be able to stay at an extended stay for a couple of weeks, or maybe, you know, I've got some clients that'll go ahead and they'll close on their first house and then they'll rent an apartment for 6 months and then start looking for their second house towards the end of that time, you know, and go ahead and plan on 2 moves up front instead of trying to do it all at once. So that's a long way of saying your time frame for buying a house could be anywhere from, call it 3 weeks. If you find the house you're looking for and it's a cash deal, you know, that deal can typically be done in 2 weeks or less. So call it 3 weeks total, up to maybe 3 or 4 months, depending on how specific you are with your house search and things like that. Anyway, hope that sheds a little bit of light on the situation. If you've got more questions about that, obviously let me know. I can, you know, kind of walk you through a specific situation that you may have in a more clear and concise manner. So definitely let me know if it's something that you're thinking about and you want to know, you know, if you've got you know, maybe a teacher is looking to move in between the school years, or you know, you're trying to fit in a job change, you know, with a move. You know, sometimes that comes into play also. But anyway, just let me know if there's something specific that I can answer for you, and I am more than happy to do that. But that's it for today's Passenger Seat Real Estate, and until next time, God willing, I'll talk to you soon.